Hey y'all, it's me. So, Doc and I love to be outside, and I love to tell our love story. And once again, this is welcome to episode, you know what number, Doc?
I don't know what number.
What number?
Number 50. What over there? 4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we haven't released 53 yet. We're going to release that in a little while. However, I wanted to say thank you to those who are praying for us because we're writing a love story. It's our love story, but you know our motto, okay? But today I'm on here because I want to talk about something very serious. I was asked. Did I say that properly?
I would ask.
I was asked.
Oh, I was asked. Yes.
Yeah.
What did you
Uh-huh. Um, and so it's very difficult to talk about, but it is abuse inside of a intimate relationship. Something that I personally experienced growing up, but I have not personally experienced it in my marriage. Um, but what I want to say is that you, as a woman, and firstly, there are statistics. Me and Doc always do things based in study and statistics, just based on our education.
have
Okay.
that data?
So we are data driven people. And we know, like all of us know, and maybe some don't, that women are more abused in an intimate relationship. Although men can be. But the numbers, if you look at the data, is 73 something percent of women versus 26 point something percent of men. But look at the data, okay? And I'm not talking about on a site that is not educational. We want to deal in facts and numbers. All right, so I done said all that to say that women are more abused in a relationship than men. And I have a client who asked me to address this on one of my episodes. And so I have told her that I would. But let me say this, I also know some that are dealing with this. I ain't talking to you. So don't think that I'm talking to you. And I have to say that because they are super, super close um, to me. And they are located in the same place that I'm located. Okay? So I want to be specific that I am not speaking to you. So, women stay in abusive relationships for multiple reasons. I mean, there are things that are just, it's a scroll of reasons. And it is very difficult to find the courage, the strength not to leave. And I'll just give you a few examples. Some women stay because they can't afford to take care of themselves. Some men do the same thing. Some women stay because they're afraid that they can't find anybody else. You start to make yourself believe that. And for the same men. But here's what I want to say to those who are young and thinking about going into a relationship. Learn from those around you. But do not stay in an abusive relationship. Do you know how hard that is for me to say that? Because we believe in what, babe? Reconciliation.
And restoring the relationship.
Yes. However, the truth is, some stay and never find themselves. And some stay and fake like it's all good. Okay? When Doc and I got married, we had marriage counseling, and this is one of the things that Doc and I would talk about, that there would be no verbal or physical abuse. Have we ever got heated at each other, babe?
Of course. Everybody does.
Okay? But not to where you're tearing that person
No,
down,
no.
right? And that person becomes your enemy. If you are in a relationship where there are more disagreements than good times, you in the wrong relationship. As difficult as it is for me to say that, loving someone is not hard. It's not hard to love, Doc. Is it hard to love me, babe?
No. I just gotta keep some money on me.
No, be serious, Woo. Is it hard to love me?
No. Not at all.
Okay, and it's not hard to love him. But that's the commitment we made, and that there would be no physical, mental, verbal abuse. Although we can get heated with each other, but we will say, okay, this enough right here before we cross that line, okay? But when you do cross that line, as long as you let it continue, it becomes normal. So then you have this circle, right? I'm gonna teach y'all a little bit something today. And I'm long today, but that's all right, it's worth it. You have this circle of violence to where, you know, you on the honeymoon, kissing, loving, yeah, right? Then you go into a tension phase, right? Where everything is so tense and you can feel it. You can almost cut it with a knife, right? There's verbal abuse, there's physical abuse, and you know, you're at the violent part. And then guess what? I'm never gonna be with him again. I'm never gonna. And then he brings you flowers and candy, and you know, if you're married, you may make love on top of that, and then you back in the same circle again. Recognize it. You don't have to live like that. You can get help, the both of you. If you want to stay together, you can get help and work through those things. But if one is not willing to get help, it's time for the other one to bounce. And I'm so sorry that I have to say that. Okay? It's actually is it an oxymoron? Words against my beliefs? But I know what's right for someone who's in an abusive relationship. Because then you train your kids to be in an abusive relationship. And what happens? They're in abusive relationships over and over and over again. I decided to break the cycle in my family where there's no divorce. I knew who I wanted to marry. I knew that he had to have this specific criteria, right? The number one thing for me was had absolutely no abuse, right? And people tell you who they are, okay, when you get comfortable. no, no abuse, physical or verbal. Although if that has happened, you can come back from that. Okay? You can be restored from that. But if this has been going on in your life the whole marriage, bounce, baby, bounce. Okay? Find the strength. All right, y'all. You know our motto.
Well, even for our motto,
Yes.
she mentioned about if there's a want to resolve the relationship,
Yes.
then I would suggest to get a marriage and family therapist
Absolutely.
or a counselor, but hopefully that person is in a strong relationship or married, because I don't want to. I don't want to get counseled by someone who's had 3 divorces.
Right.
But
Right.
if you are
Okay.
thinking of leaving because of the abuse, whether it's verbal or physical, you can call that National Domestic Hotline, Domestic
Yes.
Violence Hotline at
That's right.
800 799 7233. Once again, 800
800.
799 7233. Or text the word begin to 88788. The word begin to 88788. Or even go on the National Domestic Violence Hotline website.
Yes.
But the idea is help of some sort.
Right. And if you know someone who's in a relationship, okay, just offer them that. Okay. But some aren't ready for it. You have to be ready to be able to move on out of this that you have learned to call normal. All right, y'all. What's our motto, babe?
Oh, no one couple has the monopoly on love.
And today, do something.
Somebody else.
Please, y'all. All right. Peace in the Middle East. Who, Lord knows, I hope, in our country, the United States of America.